So we got our update. Let's talk about it. This is what shouts, by the way, to Kelsey Conway. This is what Coach Taylor said after the game. I apologize for my lack of energy. It's just because I just streamed for like 3.5 hours and watched the game.
Joe. It looks like he sprained his wrist. So felt it early in the game and then felt it on the touchdown pass.
So as he says, it looked like he sprained his wrist early in the game. Now, obviously, he'll get an MRI done. He'll see how long, or how bad the injury is. And we have a 15-day of rest period going into our next game, right? So that's nice. We get 15 days of rest. Now, the question is, how long does a sprained wrist last? What's the recovery time, right? How long will he be out for? Well, first off, it's just kind of like the calf strain here. There's 3 different grades of sprained wrist. The common one is grade 1, which is a simple 1 to 3 weeks injury recovery time. So it takes about 1 to 3 weeks. Obviously, with 15 days rest, we have 2 weeks for him to rest pretty much before we play again, which is nice. And, we don't have to worry about him going right out there right away and having to play yet again, let's say literally next, this upcoming Sunday. He has that 15 days to kind of rest, go back, and, get better. Now, that's a grade 1. Now, of course, based on what he looked like when his was swelling and stuff like that, that is perfectly a typical grade 1. They also said you can get fevers with a grade 1. But then we talk about grade 2. Grade 2 is going to be 3 to 6 weeks. So that would obviously put us way down the line in the playoffs. Way down the line in this season. And would completely destroy our chances of going to the playoffs. A grade 3 can last several months. So a grade 3 would be a severe one, just like a calf strain, and that's when he's not going to be in the game for a very, very long time, or back in the game for a very long time. But again, like I said, having, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Actually, it's technically 12 days, right? We got what? We got 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So technically around 11, 12 days, my bad. So around 11 days he gets the rest, not 15. 11 days he gets the rest, which is, again, almost 2 weeks. That's nice, right? That's the pros of playing on Thursday night is you get a short week and then you get the rest. Now the question is, was this a problem going into this game? And that's something I think we're going to talk about and look at. That's probably something they're going to ask the coaches, and they're going to be like, some questionnaires there. Is that we knew going into this game that Joe came off the plane on Tuesday with a brace around his hand, around his right hand. Now, based on what we understand, this is a wrist injury. This is not a hand injury. So there's really no correlation there between if his hand was feeling, bad and now his wrist is sprained. Is there any correlation there? Probably not. But what we can kind of say is this, right? Because Joe said the reason why he was wearing a brace around his hand was because he was sore from Sunday's game versus the Texans. So clearly there probably was a reason why his hand was sore, which obviously in that game, he might have injured his wrist in that game in some way. He might not have injured his wrist in the point that it was severe enough that we're actually like talking about or covering or really, is like something to be concerned about. But it's very possible he did injure his wrist in some way in that game. And that could have really been the, thing that led up to this injury right here. Now, of course, you could also look to the fact that potentially, right, that it was the fact that when Javion Clowney sacked him on that play or tackled him on that play, my bad. The play before he ended up coming out of the game, when he did get sacked, all the weight of his whole body landed on that wrist, right? He got sacked. Clowney drove him into the ground. His weight of his body landed on the wrist. And that obviously probably is what ended up straining it. So, again, I know there's going to be a lot of articles and correlations made. Oh, because he was hurt in the game versus, the Texans game. He was already hurt. They played him anyway. And now look at him. He's going to be out for a couple of weeks, right? No. I don't think in any way possible there was any injury that went into this game. I think this was literally, probably in my opinion, it probably was the sack that got the injury that happened. It was that pretty much what ended up causing the sprain to happen. When you lay your whole entire body weight on your wrist, plus the fact that you have another guy on top of you causing that problem, now you just have a whole entire bunch of issues. And again, like I said, it is what it is at the end of the day. We're going to hopefully he comes back healthy. Hopefully he does, get right back going and everything works out in the end. But this is his throwing hand. And if you look at him on the sideline, especially in that game, once he got this hit, it wasn't good. It really, really wasn't good. And what I mean by that is he could not even grip the ball. He couldn't grip the ball correctly. He couldn't even move his wrist at all. So, based on the initial sprain of a sprained wrist, that is normal. That even if it's a grade 1, you're going to feel severe pain right away. You're also going to feel, again, swelling. You're going to feel maybe a fever from it. So this is all typical grade 1 symptoms. But we're going to find out if it's a grade 2 or grade 3 or what this ends up being. But moving forward, we're going to have to figure something out. Now, the other guy who got injured in this game was Cam Taylor-Britt. We're going to have to wait and see how that ends up turning out. Whether or not, he's okay to play. Whether or not he is hurt even worse than that. But, again, right now, obviously we lose to the Ravens, right? It sucks. We're sitting at a 33% chance to make the playoffs now. After losing to the Ravens here, we're now going to have to think about what we're going to do moving forward. Right? Because if Joe cannot go, let's say for 2 or 3 weeks, whatever the case, after watching Jake Browning tonight, I will say this. I don't think he is a quarterback they're going to go with moving forward. I think they're going to go with A.J. McCarron, and they're going to figure it out with A.J. McCarron. Now, whether or not that ends up working out, or they bring in a free agent, we're going to have to wait and see on that one. But I will say this right now. I think we can beat Pittsburgh with A.J. McCarron. I think we can. I think if our defense can get the job done and we can play smart on offense, I think we can beat Pittsburgh with A.J. McCarron. Jacksonville, I think we can beat with A.J. McCarron too. I think that's very plausible. It's going to be a tough game, but I think we can win that game. And if we can win those 2 games, let's say we win the last game of the season because Deshaun Watson's out for the year, my bad, and we beat the Colts, we sit at an 82% chance to make the playoffs. Even if we lose all these games, we still sit at an 11% chance to make the playoffs. And again, then we're going to need some things to happen, like the Packers to beat the Chargers, the Steelers to beat the Browns, Vikings to beat the Broncos, ironically enough, Titans, Jags. Jags to beat the Titans because we need the Titans out. Actually, no, we need the Jags to lose, surprisingly enough, because we need... Okay, yeah. So, again, is it possible? Yeah. Is it plausible? It's going to be tough, man. It's really going to be tough. And I'll say it like that. It's not like an easy, one-set solution here. But we can still make the playoffs with Joe, even if Joe isn't able to go next week. Even if Joe is out for a week. It's just not going to be easy. So tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. I just kind of want to go through here, just a little end it off here of like what could happen and what we need to happen here. I'm trying to see all the games here that actually matter. Chiefs win, Patriots win, Bucks win. We said 60% chance, 61% chance here. Falcons win. Let's go with Commanders win. 70% chance. Steelers beat the Colts. Lions beat the Broncos. Ravens beat the Jaguars. Dolphins beat the Jets. Cowboys beat the Bills. And that's with us losing those games too. Just keep that in mind. That's with us losing those games, and we're still technically alive in this context if everything goes the way we need it to go. But again, we're still going to have to win our games. Keep that in mind. Okay, I don't think the Dolphins are going to lose to Commanders, okay? Texans could win that game. Eagles beat the Bills. Texans beat the Jags. Panthers win. Bucks wins. Dolphins win. 100% chance to make the playoffs. That's with us losing these 3 games. Let's keep that in mind. But we lose another game. It's still possible. It is still possible to make the playoffs if we lose another game. I know it's crazy to say this, but it is still possible. We now need the Broncos to win. We need the Rams to beat the Browns. We need the Jets to win. That's why everyone who says, like, oh, the 0% chance that they can make the playoffs now, their season's over. Keep that in mind. The season is never over at this point, guys. Season will always still be going no matter what. And as long as you have hope and will, there is a way. Even if we lose 1, 2, 3, 4 games moving forward, we still have a chance to make the playoffs. We still have a chance to make the playoffs if we lose 4 games. But if we lose 1 and 4, we're not making the playoffs. And then we don't deserve to make the playoffs anyway. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys next one. Peace out.